Hey, folks, welcome to Market Technical Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Friday, March 11th, 2011. Well, folks, it's Friday, and Friday we see the Friday effect. What's the Friday effect? The Friday effect is the natural tendency for the markets to float neutral to higher. We mentioned this last night in the Research Center video as a possibility. I'm going to explain exactly why we figured the markets would not continue to sell today and had a good chance of moving higher. The first main reasons out there were the major levels that the market was hitting and key stocks were hitting. Take a look at this. If we go to the daily chart of the SPY, notice how yesterday we came into the 50 moving average and touched this major trend line. Now, these are major trend lines on the daily chart. In other words, major levels that are very tough for the market to break down. You can see this little purplish line right here through this pivot top in early January, mid-January, then also through this little pivot bottom, this bottom right here, and then again we hit it yesterday and today on the gap down. Markets gapped lower today. I think everyone was expecting a little bit of a sell-off, but it did not happen. Now, other stocks that were into major levels, take a look at this. ExxonMobil into the 50 moving average. Look at the reversal on that. Southern Copper, SCCO, into the 200, bouncing beautifully. Now, by the way, Southern Copper was given out as a swing trade to the Research Center members at InTheMoneyStocks.com and the Intraday Stock Chat members. You can all take a free trial if you wish. Get all these calls for yourself. We actually already closed out this trade for over $1 profit in one day, folks. Some of the members of the Chat and Research Center making over $1.50 on this. Beautiful call, perfect hit of the 200 moving average. All right, there are new calls out today in the Research Center, so join now. At least take that free trial, try it out, try to get some of these calls, make some money in the short term. In any case, going to other stocks out there, we have to take a look here. First of all, take a look at FSLR. FSLR down to the 200. Many other stocks, including Apple Computer, also down to the 50 moving average. Take a look at that, and you can see I've drawn on the chart from previous analysis. But right there, 50 moving average on the daily. These are all daily charts that were coming to major levels. So having said that, that kind of gives you the impression that there's a good chance of a bounce here, and that's exactly what we got today. And again, I think there were a lot of people that were very skeptical about today. People thought on the spiders, well, you have the day of rage in Saudi Arabia, you have this whole fiasco going on in Europe now. Yesterday, Spain got downgraded, but bottom line, a little bit more fear than the market could handle, and we see a reversal today on the markets to the upside. And again, that's what kind of led us to believe that the markets had a good chance to go up today, was because of the fact that many of these charts of many leading stocks, I mean, I just showed you Exxon and Apple. There were many, many others as well that were into key major moving averages, and therefore you have to anticipate a bounce on the major stocks. And remember, when stocks like Apple and Amazon and Chevron and Exxon, when they're all going to bounce, chances are the markets are going to bounce with them. You very rarely see those stocks going down and the market going up, or those stocks going up and the market going down. All right, and again, you can see early on we had a little volatility. We gapped lower. The market surged up. I think the markets gapped down a little bit because of what happened in Japan overnight, folks. A huge earthquake setting off a tsunami. Many, many problems there. And my heart goes out to everyone in Japan. Just an awful event there. And again, some of the footage I've seen is just unbelievable. And it's just scary and earth shattering. And again, my heart goes out to everyone in Japan right now who's dealing with that. Overall, the day of rage in Saudi Arabia is the day of non rage, apparently. Really nothing out of Saudi Arabia right now, as major protests don't seem to be really developing in any major way. That tells us that, again, oil should be a little bit on the weaker side, and oil is on the weaker side, but not that weak. I mean, we're seeing a good 50-cent pullback in the USO, and again, symbol here, this is the United States Oil Fund, symbol USO, and you can see it started out lower and kind of came back. Now, why did oil kind of come back off the lows? And it's still down from the close yesterday. This is where it closed yesterday, so it's down pretty dramatically, I guess, down about 50, 55 cents here on the USO, but the reason why it kind of came off the lows here and has floated neutral to higher is because of the dollar, and what we're going to do here now is pull up the chart of the UUP, which is the PowerShares US Dollar Index ETF. And what you can see here is the dollar has fallen throughout the day. And remember, when the dollar falls, usually the commodities will slowly float up in the opposite direction of the dollar. So in this case, the dollar's falling. Therefore, the stocks or the ETFs that follow these commodities should float up. And that's kind of what we've seen on oil. As the dollar's fallen, oil's got a small bid. Same as gold and silver. Take a look at the GLD today, by the way, guys. What a reversal on the GLD. Dollar's getting crushed today. Gold has started out down almost $1 on the GLD, and that's the symbol there, GLD. And then all of a sudden, look at this move up across the board. Now, silver, same thing. And silver's even a more powerful move, folks. Major gap down of $1 on the SLV, and this is the silver iShares Silver Trust SLV. The silver reversed, or silver reversed dramatically here, and again is hovering up 71 cents after being down $1. That's a huge reversal. And in fact, interestingly enough, you can see right here, this is the pivot top, but you reversed all the way here. You didn't even touch the 20 moving average. I would have thought we would have at least kissed that 20 moving average before reversing, but it was not to be. And again, interestingly enough, take a look at this little pivot here. See the top of this candle, the low of this candle, and then the gap down today? All in that line. That's now the big level that you're watching, and we'll see if the silver can ever punch through that. If it punches through there, I think it does take out the 20 and actually comes down to this level down here. Otherwise, as of now, you have not confirmed to the downside. Confirmation is a key principle developed by In the Money Stocks that tells you which direction a stock, ETF, commodity, currency is going. And again, you have not confirmed to the downside, so technically this could still go up. In all fairness, this could easily go up, folks, on the SLV. And again, right now it's pulling off the highs just a little bit, but what a powerful reversal there. All right, let's take a look at some other key stocks. I want to show you Exxon again. ExxonMobil here, symbol XON. Beautiful pierce of the 50 moving average and nice reversal. It's come off the highs up here. This is now your major level of resistance on the upside at around 88. Your major support now is established at the 50 moving average as we assumed it would be, and good reversal there. All right, let's take a look at Chevron. Chevron's symbol is CVX. And this one doesn't quite get down to the 50 moving average, but do you want to know why? Take a look right here. Pivot top right here. Right here, and this is where it opens, it pierces it, and reverses. But oftentimes people are too focused in on the moving averages, and when everyone's focused in on the moving averages, they forget about levels that are just above the moving averages. And look at, for instance, right here. Here's a pivot top. You know that's going to be support. That's where the CVX Chevron opens, and look at the reversal up $1.16 after gapping down about $1. Chevron's actually reversed almost $3 off the lows of the day at this point. Monstrous reversal. Apple Computer, let's take a look. Another one. Take a look at the daily chart right to the 50 moving average. It's getting a beautiful bounce. This is the second time in about 2 weeks you've hit the 50 moving average. My guess is if we come down again and hit the 50, we break below it, as that level has now been weakened, but right now it's holding up. Apple Computer, symbol AAPL, again that's AAPL, is trading up about $5 on the day. Now let's take a look at a couple other stocks here. Amazon.com. I think this is a very important chart here. Take a look at this little pivot double bottom. Now the interesting thing about this pivot double bottom, folks, and again, one thing just to note, see how you got below on a couple candles and even yesterday closed a little bit below this line? Take a look at this little pivot right here. See this little pivot? That's the support level you went to right there. Now, in any case, what you'd want to be watching here is whether or not you get below this breakdown point, which you did yesterday as of the close, and you gap down and then reverse today. But the question would be, and this is what amateurs fall into all the time, amateurs say, oh, we closed below, let me short this. Wrong. If you're an amateur and you do that, folks, you are going to get hammered nonstop, and you're going to lose so much money. Notice how it reverses today. Any amateur that shorted yesterday as of the close because it closed below there is now getting their head handed to them on the short side, getting squeezed. The answer is you did not have confirmation. If there's one thing you join In the Money Stocks for, it needs to be for that confirmation signal. All right? You didn't confirm to the downside. This tells you you could reverse, and sure enough, you reverse. So what this does is it keeps you out from shorting this play, and you could even possibly buy it until you confirm to the downside. In that case, you would have made some good money. All right, we talked about Southern Copper. I gave this to my members at the Research Center and the Intraday Stock Chat. What a move today. Perfect kiss of the 200 moving average, guys. This was such a beautiful play. In addition, guys, take a look at this. You filled the gap. See this little pivot point right here? There's a gap right here. That was filled into the 200. That reinforces the possibility of an up move, makes it even safer, and that's why I gave it to the Research Center and Intraday Stock Chat. And look at the dramatic move up on that Southern Copper. All right? In addition, let's take a look at a couple other stocks out there. 3M is having a solid day. 3M is a Dow component, so that's one more Dow component having a good day. Look at the reversal. Again, another major leading stock in one of the 30 Dow stocks gaps down to the 50 moving average today and reverses to the upside. Beautiful move there as well. Let's take a look at some of these other plays here. I want to just scan through my list and see what else is popping on my radar. And let's see. Right now, I'm not seeing anything necessarily. We'll take a look at Goldman Sachs and some of the financials right now. Goldman Sachs, symbol GS. Really nothing there. Goldman has been choppy this week. A couple days very strong and a couple days weaker this week. And again, you can see going back to Monday down, Tuesday, Wednesday up, Thursday down, and kind of Friday floating back up, but all staying in the same range. JP Morgan has been a little bit stronger until yesterday's dump, bouncing off the 50 here as well. And when all these stocks, and especially stocks like JP Morgan, Apple, and Chevron and Exxon are hitting off such major levels, again, you have to assume that a bounce could come in. Now, how long is the bounce going to last? That's the big question, right? I mean, when it all comes down to it, how long is the bounce going to last? And that's what we're really watching to find out. But bottom line is, you had to anticipate a possibility of a bounce, and that was nailed in the research center. And again, we took a lot of profits on shorts yesterday. I even took off my Chevron short off the table yesterday, pocketing some profits. And again, that turns out to be a very smart decision, as Chevron is up about $1.34 today, well above where I covered my short. So again, if you could just read the markets, you can do everything. Read the charts, it's not that hard. Join the research center, take the free trial, and again, you will have your eyes open to some unbelievable things. Now, let's just cover a few other things here. Again, I want to go back to the dollar. Let's just check on the dollar. The Power Shares US Dollar Index ETF here. This is the symbol UUP. The dollar's getting crushed today. Believe it or not, folks, I want to just show you this chart right here. This chart, folks, I went long and bullish on this pattern right here. I gave the research center a bullish bias as of the double bottom right here. And sure enough, you got a beautiful bounce to the 20. As of yesterday's close, in the nightly research center video, I said, guys, you've now had your bounce. I don't think there's that much more in this bounce. In addition, you're up into the 20 moving average. Therefore, I am removing my bullish bias and going into a neutral bias because you could pull back here. Sure enough, look at the dollar today getting spanked. All right, going to the USO. This was another great call. This is the United States Oil Fund, symbol USO. Please note here, the confirmation signal again alerted you to a possibility of a reversal. And this is such a key thing. And again, if there's one thing you join the Research Center or the Intraday Stock Chat for, join it for that confirmation signal, folks. It is a money maker of epic proportions. And again, we have developed this at In the Money Stocks. There is no one else that I have seen out there that has come up with this out there. And again, unbelievable. But in any case, the confirmation signal, notice this double top from 2010. Going to last Friday, you closed above the double top. Many amateurs would say that's a breakout, right? Wrong. You have not confirmed above that level. On Monday, we didn't confirm. Why? Because you had to close above the high of the breakout right there to confirm. You didn't do that on Monday. In fact, you closed a little bit below. Tuesday, you closed again below that. Wednesday, you reversed and closed below the breakout level and were down below the 2010 highs. Thursday, you collapse. Friday, you drop even more. So see again, utilizing that double top, we talked about it being a little on the bearish side here, and we nailed that call too to the research center and chat guys. And again, some of the riskier traders decided to do a little short there and made some good money. It was a very risky short because you're dealing with Middle East stuff, but it just shows you that the charts know best. And if you can read the charts, you don't even have to know the news. The charts will always trump the news, folks. And I know that sounds pretty crazy, but as you start to get more involved in trading based off of charts, you will see that. And again, it just enlightens your world. It's like a light shining on the money. You can actually reach out and grab it this way. Okay? Now, again, let me just go over a couple other stocks here. Some small caps are moving a little bit today, but nothing major overall. Scanning through my watch list, I see the ag stocks, Potash, Monsanto, Mosaic are higher today, but not by that much. Solar stocks are a little bit weaker today. FSLR is up 47 cents, but the rest of the solar stocks, TSL, SPWRA, STP, LDK, and those seem to be a little on the weaker side, which makes sense. Oil's pulling back. Solar becomes more expensive relative to oil. Makes sense there as well. Financials are doing well today. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman, and JP Morgan up. Technologies, for the most part, is higher except for Google. Google is actually a little bit on the weaker side here, and symbol here is GOOG. Notice the drop Google's had. Interesting here, folks. There's a gap fill that got filled at the low of the day. Please note that. Why do you think Google bounced off of those lows today? Look at the intraday. From this low all the way up, if you go to your daily chart, this is the intraday Google chart, by the way. If you go to your daily chart, notice gap fill right there. And look at the bounce. It goes right there on the daily chart, which is at 573, and look at the bounce that you get. And that's all you're doing is basing it off gap fill. You have to understand the gap fill principles here. That's a major level. So sure enough, beautiful bounce on Google there. And again, if you were a buyer at gap fill, you had no risks to the trade. It never went below that level, and it bounced beautifully back up. So again, that's the only stock that's down a little bit on my watch list. Cisco's down 2 cents, but that actually has come off the lows beautifully. It actually hit a key pivot point, but I'm not going to go into that. You have to join the Research Center, take the free trial to get that information, as it's been posted there for our members to profit off of, just like they profited off of Ford this week, Southern Copper this week, and many, many other trades this week there. All right. I think that's about it for all today, folks. Again, I encourage you to join the Research Center. Take that free trial. Take the free trial of the chat. Come check us out. We feel you will be in love forever. And again, that's what it's all about, just making money. Take care, folks.